Yeah, disappointed. Yeah, I mean, Hawthorn were the better side tonight, without question. I know it's 12 points, but our boys were pretty brave, I thought. We're a young side. They never stopped trying all night. It felt like, with about 7 or 8 minutes to go, it could have gone like 30, 40 points. But to our team's credit, they really fought the game out. But Hawthorn were the better team, and they executed the better footy at critical times, without question. And I'm as frustrated as our fans watching all those turnovers tonight. We just could not hit a target when it really mattered, and that's what we'll be working on really hard behind the scenes, is just executing fundamentals at critical times. That's what good sides do, and the best sides do, is when it matters, they execute fundamentals, and unfortunately we didn't do that at critical moments tonight. Yeah. I mean,
I know there's pressure out there on the ground.
Yep.
Like maybe perceived pressure.
Yeah, I think you're right, without question. I think Hawthorn's pressure was very good, and we knew, last year's premiers coming off a loss, we knew that they would be fired up tonight, and they pressured us well. But there were too many times, unacceptable amount of times, when we just couldn't get back off the mark and hit the next target. It was just sloppy stuff, and some of them, players probably won't even know what I'm talking about, because it was one where it just missed and then it sort of rolls on the ground, you pick it up and then you move the ball. But if it's a clean kick, clean possession, then our forwards are in a better position down the ground. Our forwards look really dangerous tonight, but we just couldn't get there often enough. We couldn't get it to that sort of hot spot outside of the goal square. But when we did, Podsy, Adelaide, Jenkins, Walker, Lynch all looked pretty dangerous, but we couldn't get it there.
But how much do you guys straddle that fine line of where handball's an effective weapon or it becomes a very silly?
Yeah, no, that was frustrating tonight. I mean, that's the obvious point for us in our meeting tonight, was way too many handballs when the option. I mean, we just didn't trust our legs to run out of trouble. It was a lot of stationary statue handballs to a player who was in a no better position than us. I mean, a few times it paid off, but more often than not, we handballed ourselves into trouble. They scored from the turnovers typically, and we're a kicking side, but tonight we had more handballs than kicks. That was obvious, and some of it's perceived pressure, like you said. Some of it's we just overused the handball.
Brenton, you said earlier that you got young players, but at the same time they have played a reasonable number of games. Yet
Yep.
they're making the same mistakes. You do it okay for a couple of weeks and then back to those mistakes. Are they, supporters may be asking, are they going to get better?
No, they will, without question. I mean, you saw tonight. I mean, Lewis, Hodge, Mitchell, Burgoyne. Those guys have been playing together for a long time through their midfield. They flick the ball around. They know where each other is. Our guys haven't played footy. I mean, Brad Crouch tonight had 40 touches. He's only his, whatever it was, 20th game of AFL footy, or 25th game or something. But our guys will take time. We need to get to that level, what we saw tonight. We went down by 12 points. We're not far off it. We're 8 and 8. We're outside the top 8, but we won't give up fighting. We've got a bye now, but look forward to our next opponent. We've just got to keep that strategy of it's simple for us: beat our next opponent.
Well, is there much debate there about when to lock onto the spare and when not to?
Yeah. Well, last week, Hawthorn played 6, 6 and 6, so they played conventional 6 forwards, 6 midfielders, 6 defenders. We planned for that. We also planned for what they did, which was they started with 7 off the back. That player played as an extra midfielder, I guess, and it took us a little while to adjust. We had Henderson back as our sort of +1 defender, but Hawthorn were able to share the ball through the midfield with an extra midfielder. We looked better when we manned that person up and made it an even number contest, and we started Smith on the wing, but he looked much better across half-back tonight. When we flicked him and Laird went back through the midfield, and Smith, 35 touches tonight, sort of sweeping across half-back, was really damaging for us, and combined pretty well with Henderson at times. But yeah, it didn't work for us when they had that extra number back. It looked better when we evened it up.
Is it coincidence, or are they linked that Thompson has a hamstring after what we saw last week? Two separate things, or was it?
Yeah, it was a different hamstring. It was the other one. So it looks like then that's a neural issue. So that's probably some lower back stuff that's referring tightness. So once again, he didn't injure it, but he didn't have any power. You could see when we put him forward, he just couldn't accelerate. So yeah, it's disappointing. I know we sometimes take a calculated risk with injury management, and everything we did with Scotty this week, he got through. And as I said, it's not your classical hamstring. It's not a hamstring strain or a hamstring tear, but it's obviously some neural referral from some lower back stuff that's causing him to tighten up. So a few of our guys, the bye's come at a good time. You saw Jenkins roll his ankle tonight. Walker's got some obvious soreness. And the other ones we took into the game, Talia looked sore tonight. I thought his game was pretty good on Roughhead. But so there's a few guys who will look forward to a couple of days off now.
When you say Walker off with soreness, you were telling us earlier this week that he's fine. It was just body language. So has he been carrying stuff that you just haven't been telling us?
No, well he's had a couple of niggles. So it was a calf 3 weeks ago. It was a hip 2 weeks ago. He was fine last week. This week he had some glute hamstring tightness. So I think that comes after 12 months out of the game and then playing, I think, 7 or 8 straight now. But I mean, he's fine. He played the game out, and I thought he played pretty well. But obviously with this, with 6 games to go, a bye this week, it's probably a good chance for a few guys to freshen up.
What do you think about an umpire in the start before there was a start?
Yeah, that was a strange one. I didn't quite understand what was happening there. I'm just speculating, so I probably can't comment, but I'm not sure what was happening.
That disposal stuff you're talking about sort of been an issue for most of the year. What's the light at the end of the tunnel? Just train?
Yeah, that's all we can do. With the turnovers and the costly mistakes, we just have to keep replicating match anxiety and pressure at training. And as I said, we have to just get better at critical moments. I mean, when Jenkins kicks that goal and we're 5 points up, God, I felt like the momentum was really with us. It felt like we were really starting to roll. And there was just 1 or 2 turnovers in the middle of the ground, and then they kicked the next 4 goals. They kicked 4 unanswered, then to put us, 3 goals down. So that's the times when I think the really good sides, when they hit the front, they then go 12 points up, 18 points up. They don't allow the opposition to, get back in. So Hawthorn, the good side that they are, were able to wrestle back the momentum and obviously hit the scoreboard. 3/4 time we're 3 goals down, coming off back-to-back 6-day breaks with a young team. So, as I said, the boys were gallant. I'm still really proud of their efforts. I think our fans, and another massive crowd here tonight, which is awesome, but they should still be proud of our guys tonight. Yes, be very disappointed with the result, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel for this group. I've been really happy with how they've played tonight. We didn't win, but we've just got to keep striving to get better, and we saw tonight the level that we're trying to get to.
Was that a game, a moment that got to Eddie Betts, or was it just very good playing by Hawthorn?
I'm not sure. I haven't spoke to Eddie. He's been incredible for us this year, and he kicked 18 goals in the last 4 games or something, ridiculous. But it was a big night for him. There was a lot of extra marketing type stuff around him this week, and I don't think Eddie likes the spotlight. I don't think he doesn't feel comfortable being the centre of attention. He's such a great team player. He leads our club for score assists, and I think he's in the top 2 or 3 in the AFL for bringing other people into the game as well. So that it might have been 200 games, a lot of publicity this week. I think he'll be happy next week just to go back being just normal Eddie, but I'm happy that he's played 200. I'm just disappointed we couldn't win for him.
Obviously, you can still make the finals, but it's almost time that you start to roll the dice selection-wise. There's not that many games to go to try and win.
No, we'll still pick our best 22, and we'll still go as hard as anything to make this final 8. It might take us to the last round to get in, but as long as we're there when it matters, that's the most important thing. So, yes, we need some results to go our way, but for us, all we can focus on is beating our next opponent. It's Collingwood in 16 days, 17 days. We'll just take it, contest by contest, and hopefully the moons or the stars align for us round 23, and we're playing in September, but it's a long way off. We've got some work to do still, and hopefully we're there when it matters.
Do you expect to get anyone back for the Collingwood game, McKay perhaps?
McKay will definitely be back, yeah. Van Berlo's still quite a few weeks away. Lewis Johnson's still quite a few weeks away. Just thinking off the top of my head. Charlie Cameron will start to get close. That's been longer than what I expected. That's been really frustrating for me because I know you guys know that I love that kid, and he would have been handy tonight, a little bit of speed in our forward line and, tackling pressure. So I don't think, maybe the Collingwood game, but he probably needs a state league game or two, I think, just to get his touch back. But I can't think of any others. Kerridge, yeah. Kerridge will probably be close as well. He's had that bruising through his foot, which he's still in the moon boot. He'll probably come out of that in the next day or two. Probably going to need a couple of weeks of training. So, there's still a few guys to come back. He is, yeah. He's running out of time. Was there 6 games to go, or 7 weeks to go, 6 games? A lot will depend with him is how aggressively we push him, I guess, on our next few results. So if it gets beyond, I guess, if September looks unlikely, then we'd probably back him off. But he's sort of tracking like he might be ready a couple of weeks to go in the season. But, with our captain, we won't make a poor decision with that one.
Brenton, so deep into a season, is there one thing in your mind, or many things in your mind, do you think that separates Adelaide from the 8 best teams in the competition?
Yes and no. Our form actually, since those first 3 losses of the season, our form's actually been pretty good. It's acceptable. It's not what we want to get to. So we're 8-5 since round 4 now. We've beaten some really good sides. We've played some really good footy. We've gone down by 2 goals against last year's premiers tonight. I know that's at home, a game that we probably felt that we should have won, and we were right in it for a lot of the game. But we're not far off our best. We're not far off it. We're starting to get some guys back. I mean, how much have we missed Brad Crouch this year? Lynch really adds to our structure. Henderson across half-back is really important for us. So hopefully, even though we took a step back tonight with a loss, hopefully there's still, with those 6 games to go, we can really push. And as I said before, if things line up for us, then hopefully they do.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.